Sugarfoot, of course, former UW champion himself, of course, a King of the Ring from a couple years ago, going to take on one of his mentorees. What's the right word? Mentees? Whatever. Wilson Willis. Of course, we know he's a former Midwest champion. He just now recently found that he's actually doing pretty well in this business and wants to improve. And he has now claimed his name as Hellbox Wilson. In your main event for January 11th, Sugarfoot takes on Hellbox Wilson. Again, King Sugarfoot at one point, now just Sugarfoot. He was King of the Ring of 2022. Lost his King title to Avery Jones last year when Avery Jones became King. Avery Jones bestowed that upon his now tag team partner, Eddie the Dragon King. Sugarfoot, a former King of the Ring, definitely now focusing on what's most in his sights, making sure that his disciples, I say disciples, but making sure that his underlings are properly developing over time. Of course, he was also a key player in the Good vs. Evil saga last year. That included himself, Carmon or K-Mondo, Prophet Paul, Dylan Hunter, and then the Evil Saga, of course, was opposite of him, Avery Jones, Eddie the Dragon King, Donnie Matlock, and a little bit of help from Ronzo the Goon. Now that has been put to rest, of course, Sugarfoot did lose that battle, but Sugarfoot knows when to cut his losses and has decided to try and look in on where his protege from the past has come. And speaking of his protege from the past, Hellbox Wilson. Definitely deriving a little bit of an interesting look, considering it's very Kane-inspired, and we already have Donnie Matlock that's kind of got the Kane look. Perhaps we'll see Wilson Willis kind of develop over time and change his look to better match his new moniker. Former Midwest champion himself, he started last year in late 2023. For a while, his gimmick was he just kind of showed up to the ring and beat people up for no reason. Had a backpack and a hat and glasses. Now that he's been here for a while, he's kind of getting an understanding of what's going on and how good he's actually been so far. And so the idea here was Sugarfoot, one of his former trainers, wanted to take him on in one-on-one combat. Of course, this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. Sugarfoot, Hellbox Wilson, in your main event. Sugarfoot going in for the headlock. Going in with the power bomb. Straight into the clothesline. Straight into a Kimura lock from Sugarfoot. Testing the will of Hellbox Wilson. I guess will would be in both their names, right? Sugarfoot, of course, is William Sugarfoot. He's been just Sugarfoot since losing the title of King. Testing the willpower of both wills is another Kimura. Straight into another lock. Showing that he wants to try and be a part of that submission-only competition later in the year. Of course, some details on that. K-Risk Gaming sponsoring yet another title / pay-per-view. This being the technical with a K title. Going to be a title that you can only win by submitting your opponent. Right now, they're in talks to have a potential tournament to decide the initial technical champion. And from then on, to be able to earn that championship from the current champion, you would need to... Oh, roll up by Hellbox Wilson. And a 1 count. To be able to win the technical championship, you would need to win a submission match in a 20-minute time limit. Sledgehammer to the gut of Sugarfoot, and a 1 count again. You will need to submit your opponent within 20 minutes. It gives an advantage to the champion, considering you would need to be able to try and submit them to earn it. If it hits the 20-minute mark, or if someone's all disqualified, or if obviously they win the match themselves, they retain their title. Oh, a 2 count now. It's going to definitely bring out some more of the skilled fighters, and of course the ones that are much more technical in the ring compared to others. Might be bringing out some of the submissions of some people, for example with Sugarfoot, bringing out the Kimura. I feel like I haven't seen him use the Kimura like ever, which is very interesting. Hellbox and Sugarfoot definitely taking back and forth blows to try and take each other down very quickly. We're already at a 3-star match, too. That's wild. Hellbox Wilson. New look, definitely something I did not expect from him. Sledgehammer in hand. Oh, straight to the, what looked like the groin of Sugarfoot. I know it's not, but it definitely looked like it. Kip up by Sugarfoot. Oh, straight into the chops. We're calling back to Ric Flair. Oh, into the Claymore. And a cover on Hellbox Wilson. Oh, and a kick out at 2. Into those large right hands from Sugarfoot. Counter by Hellbox. Hellbox Wilson looking again to prove himself to his former mentor. We've seen a very similar feud like this before. Was that the beginning or the end? Was it the beginning of 2022? I think it was the beginning of 2022. Of course we had, or no, 2023. I don't know. We had, of course, Shad and his protege, aka Proto Trey. Of course, we know how that ended. Trey ended up coming out on top, and I feel like Shad has not done as well ever since. Shad, of course, a former Thursday Thrash champion, one of the only 2 Fluctuate champions. Of course, the only other Fluctuate champion here in this match being William Sugarfoot. Into the cover on the sidewalk slam, Hellbox Wilson. Oh, and a kick out at 2. Hellbox Wilson trying to put some damage on his former mentor. Of course, the Shad and Trey situation was more of, they were still mentor and protege. This has been kind of done for a while. Ever since Wilson Willis started coming to the ring, he'd already trained a little bit with Sugarfoot. They were gym buddies back in the day. And Sugarfoot said that he wanted to use his time wisely and try and take on who he deemed his son. 2 count and a kick out of 2. Sugarfoot wasting no time. What are you doing, Sugarfoot? Like, go for him. Don't hesitate. If I say, look, exactly. The only reason why Hellbox got the advantage on you is because you hesitated. You can't hesitate in a situation like this. Doesn't matter if it's your protege or not. Fully test him, you know? Fully test him. Hellbox Wilson. Ooh, knee to the face. Fuck this light. Ugh.
for him to deliver that maneuver. Yeah, he is giving everything he has left.
Oh, and the slam Hellbox Wilson. Ooh, kendo stick to the midsection. And now covered by Sugarfoot. That's it. Sugarfoot able to use weapons to get himself a win over his former protege. And what a win for Sugarfoot. Showing that Wilson Willis doesn't necessarily have it in him yet to make it to the top. But definitely a good match to show off how far Wilson Willis, now dubbed Hellbox Wilson, has come.